What's up, guys? My name is Tai Zen. Welcome to the cryptocurrency.market channel. This is a real-world trading and investing and entrepreneurship channel. This is not a theory channel, so if you want theory, you probably need to go somewhere else. Okay. In this channel, we share the mistakes and the things that we've done to grow and manage a 7, 8, and 9-figure portfolio, right? And in this video, I want to talk about the difference between being an educated and being a skillful trader, investor, versus just being a gambler, okay? And I want to share with you guys the difference between the two, so that when you listen to us and you listen to other people, you will know the difference between listening to a skillful trader or investor versus a gambler, okay? I'm currently broadcasting from a Starbucks in the Terminal 21 shopping mall in downtown Bangkok. This is one of my favorite shopping malls here. It's like right in the center, and it's so easy to get to so many other train routes and metro routes. That's why I like it here. And they also have one of the best food courts here too. So I like to come here for lunch and then shoot some videos, grab some coffee, and then head back to my condo right down the street. Okay, so first of all, before I talk about what is a educated or skillful trader investor versus a gambler, let's just define what is a gambler, so that the difference between gambling versus trading or investing, so that we're on the same page about which is which, so that when I describe the two types of people, you will know how to accurately determine which one is which. Okay, so a lot of people say that trading stocks or forex or even crypto is gambling, and then when you ask them, what's the difference between the two, they really cannot tell you. And then when you ask them when is it not gambling, they don't know the difference either. So I mean, it really makes it does not make very much sense when you listen to these people. So I'm going to define to you clearly what the difference between gambling and being an educated, skillful trader is. Okay, when you go gamble, you bet. Let's just say that we play roulette. We bet on black or red. Okay, when we bet on that, the loss is determined by the house. Okay, let me say that again. Let's say I bet $100 on black and it turns out to be red, I lose that $100, right? And there's no prolonging the loss. The loss is a set amount of loss, and the house, which is the casino, they initiate the stop loss for me. So I'm willing to bet $100, and then when I lose, the casino or the house fills the stop loss order for me, which means that I cannot extend that loss. I cannot go from a $100 loss to a $200 loss. Okay, that's gambling. Trading, on the other hand, does not do that. It's not the same thing. When I make a bet on Bitcoin that it's going to go up and it goes down instead, the loss will continue growing bigger and bigger and bigger until I initiate the stop loss. In other words, if I do not put in a stop loss and I let it keep going against me, that loss can go from $100 to $200 to $300 to $400 loss to $500 loss. Okay, so the difference between gambling and being a skillful trader is that gambling, the biggest difference is that in gambling, the house initiates the stop loss for us. And in trading, we are responsible. The individual trader is responsible for initiating the stop loss. That's the biggest difference. That's the first thing. The second thing is that in gambling, the loss is a set amount. If I bet $100, that's it. I cannot lose more than $100 until I make a second bet, okay? Whereas in trading, in my mind, I can say that I'm only going to lose $100 on this trade, but if my trade is down and I'm down minus $100, if I don't stop it right there, then the loss can get bigger to 200, minus 200, minus 300, minus 400, minus $500, okay? So that's the biggest difference. So whenever you see people say that gambling and trading is the same thing, or trading is gambling, gambling is trading, it's not, okay? And it's all in how the stop losses are done, okay? The other thing too is this. The other difference between trading and gambling is that in gambling, when you win, right, you cannot increase the wins. For example, like if I win I bet on black on the roulette wheel, and the wheel spins and it falls on black, and I win $100, I cannot bet again at another $100 and say, hey, I'm going to change my bet from $100 to $200 bet and win 200 instead. The casino does not allow you to do that. In other words, I cannot increase my bet size after I know that it's going in my favor. Whereas in trading, you can. Okay, so if I bet, let's say that $100 that Bitcoin's going to go up, and I bought in at, let's say, $50,000, if it goes up to $55,000 and I realize I'm winning, I can bet more on the same trade, and I can now increase it from a $100 bet to a $200 bet. And if it goes up to $60,000 Bitcoins, I can add another $100, and so I can choose when I add more to it. And at the same time, I can also add more when it's losing. So when the price is dropping on me, if I buy in to go long at $50,000 Bitcoins and it drops to $45,000 Bitcoins, I can buy in another 100. And if it drops down to 40,000, I can buy in another 100, all right, or whatever amount that I choose. Whereas in gambling, we cannot increase or decrease the bet size when the gamble goes in our favor or goes against us. So those are the biggest differences between gambling and trading. So whenever you hear someone say that trading is just like gambling, right? It's not correct. Okay, it's not the same. It's nowhere near the same. All right. And okay, so now that I define what the difference is between gambling and being an educated, skillful trader is, right? I want to talk about when you guys go out there and listen to other people talk online, whether it's myself or other crypto influencers online or other crypto social media traders, okay? You have to listen and ask yourself, is this person I'm listening to, is this person gambling in the markets, or is this person really trading and being a skillful trader and investor in the markets, okay? So I'm going to give you some examples so that you guys can see what it looks like, so you guys will know, okay? For one, right, the two skills that makes you a educated trader or skillful trader or not is, the first skill is knowing how to size your bets correctly, okay? Is knowing how to size your bets correctly when you enter a trade or you put money into an investment the first time, all right? So when you open the position, when you first get into it, how much of your money do you bet? For example, if you have $100,000, do you bet $1,000? Do you bet $2,000? Do you bet $5,000? Do you bet $50,000? Or do you bet the whole thing, the whole $100,000 on it? Okay. So the first skill that, if you want to become an educated trader or a skillful trader, the first skill that you have to learn is, how much do I bet depending on the strategy I'm using, right? If I'm just using a day trading strategy, right, a short-term strategy like a day trading strategy, how much can I bet on each trade? And there's a maximum amount for each strategy, okay? So how much do I bet? If I'm using an index strategy like the ones that we use, how much do I bet on that coin when I choose to buy that coin, all right? So that's what makes you an educated or skillful trader. If you don't know how to size your bets when you enter a trade, and you don't know how to increase or decrease your bet size when the trade is going in your favor, then you are not a skillful trader or a skillful investor. You're just, in my opinion, you're just gambling. Okay, you're just betting everything on it. Okay, so now, why am I sharing this with you? Okay, I'm going to give you guys 2 examples of some of our team members and our students are doing. Okay, Leon and I and David, we size our bets accordingly to the strategy that we use. If we use an index strategy, then we size our bets according to what the index percentages are. And you can learn about that by going to our website at www.cryptocurrency.market/start. So there, we show you how to build a index portfolio, a crypto index portfolio based on the Taifu 30 cryptocurrency market index. And we show you clearly step by step how to do that. And you can understand how we use that strategy. And you can also understand, in that video, I explain how you size your bets according to the indexes, right? To the coin's weight inside the index. And then I show you how to rebalance the portfolio every quarter. So in those tutorials, it shows you everything. Okay, so you don't have to ask me about how to do that in the index approach. Now, if you want further clear details on it, you know, and you're one of those engineers that I gotta know all the little details, then you can enroll into our program, our educational course called the Cryptocurrency Investing Blueprint, and you can get that at www.cryptocurrency.market/blueprint. Okay, but before you get into the blueprint, go to cryptocurrency.market/start and start from there. If you're not able to follow instructions there, do not waste your time getting into our blueprint because you're probably not going to listen. Okay, so that's how you size your bets and how you increase and decrease your bet size each quarter according to the index strategy. If we want to do a short-term trading, okay, then we do not size our bets more than 1% per coin. All right, so per trade. So just those are 2 simple summaries of how we size our bets. Okay, like I said, if you want to learn it in more detail, right, and see all the examples that we give and how we do it, then go and get a copy of our cryptocurrency investing blueprint at cryptocurrency.market/blueprint. All right, but go to the start one page first and start from there. If you don't understand what we're explaining to you, then there's no need to waste your time or my time with the cryptocurrency investing blueprint. Okay, so anyways, so when me and Leon and David, when we invest into the markets, right, we strive to implement the bet sizes according to what it's supposed to be. Now, we have a team member. He's going to be the first one, in my opinion, to crack $1 billion on our team. Okay, not in this bull market, not in this bull market, but in the our team member, he might be able to crack $1 billion in this bull market. If not in this bull market, in the next bull market, almost for certain. Okay, for me and Leon, this bull market, I don't see us cracking $1 billion yet. But in the next bull market or the one after that, I'm willing to bet that we are. Okay, one of us will. Okay, or both of us. One or both of us will. Okay, but in this bull market, not yet. Okay, but our other teammate in this bull market is he has the strongest probability of cracking a billion. Okay, so the reason why you guys don't hear about our other team member or that's private, okay, and the reason why I don't want him on our channel, you know, is because I don't want you guys to learn the wrong techniques, wrong skills, and the wrong procedures. And you might say, hey, Ty, if he's making more money than you and Leon, then wouldn't that mean that he's a better trader? Wouldn't that mean he's a better investor? And the answer is no. Just because someone makes more money does not mean that they are a better or skillful trader or investor, okay? Now, if you look at the fundamental analysis, right, on our team, the ones that you see in public, we have more team members that's private in the background that you guys are not aware of, okay? And the biggest difference between the public Taifu team members and the private Taifu members, okay, team members, is how we control our bet size when we get into a trade, and the other one is how we increase and decrease our bet sizes when the trade goes in our favor. That's the biggest difference, okay? And the way that my other team members like to do it, the bet sizes they use are way too big, and it's too aggressive, and it's too risky for us to share with our students. Okay, so we cannot share with you guys something that we don't personally do because it's too risky. Okay, does it make money? Yeah, it does. Does it lose you money when you're wrong? Yes, it does, and it loses really big. Okay, and you take huge swings in the markets when you do it, when you don't control your bet size correctly in the beginning, and later on when you don't control when you increase and decrease the bet size on that coin correctly. Okay, so what I'm saying is this, is that when you listen to the people online, whether it's myself or others, you will often hear me say that, hey, when the market gets to this level, I'm going to take a certain level of profits. Like, I'll give you an example right now. When I don't have the Typhoon 30 cryptocurrency market index in front of me, but when you guys look, you'll see that the all-time highs was in May. Okay, and if you take the all-time highs from May and you go to the pullback of the lows in after it crashed in May 15, 2021, and it crashed down, you'll notice the distance from the top to the bottom. I forget what it was. I know it was around 1,800 and something points, I think it was. It fell down to much less than that. I forget what the number of points was at. Okay, but if you measure that distance, right, and you do a measured move on top of it, right, when it gets to the top of that measured move, okay, we are going to take a minimum of 20% profits from our portfolio, and we're going to take the profits and convert it to either fiat, to US dollars, or to USDT. Okay, now we did that once already. Our first profit-taking opportunity was in May, around April and May of 2021, and this second profit-taking opportunity is probably going to be in another month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. We don't know. Nobody knows. Okay, but when it hits up to the top of the trend channel and it breaks above it and it does a measured move, right? So here's our trend channel going up like this, right? A measured move is where you measure the distance between these two, the top and the bottom, and then you overlay it on top. So when the price goes all the way to the top up here, to the top third up here, that's when we are going to take profits. Okay, so because of that, we're going to decrease our bet size. How do we decrease our bet size? Then we sell some of the coins that we have in our portfolio, and that's going to decrease the bet size that we have in the crypto market. And by doing that, we are essentially taking profits. So we're converting our crypto into a fiat currency, whether it's a US dollar or a USDT, a stable coin, right? So we're going to take profits there and decrease our bet size. Or you can look at it as we're going to decrease our bet size and move our crypto profits into a fiat currency, okay, which is the same as taking profits. No matter how you word it, it's still increasing or decreasing your bet size, okay? Whether you call it profit taking or locking in profits, it's the same thing, right? So because of that, when we do that, we're going to lock it in, and if the market goes up higher, we still have 80% of our portfolio that's going to go higher. But if it falls down, right, then we have already taken out 20% chunks of profit. Okay, so one of our team members, he refuses to do that. So if his portfolio, let's say, hits 50 million, he will not take profits. If it hits 100 million, he will not take profits. If it hits 200 million, he will not refuse to take profits. The only time that he will consider taking profits is when it cracks $1 billion. Okay, so you might say, hey Ty, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with him holding on and waiting until he takes profits, his first chunk of profits at $1 billion? Okay, because that's his goal. His goal is that he's not going to do anything until he cracks $1 billion. He's playing to win, and he's not going for nickels and dimes. Okay, now you guys hear that, and it might sound crazy that someone thinks like that, but the rest of us on our team does not think he's crazy, okay? Because everything he does in his life is geared towards him cracking $1 billion. So it's not like he's saying, hey, I want to crack $1 billion and then go get drunk or go smoke weed every day, right? Or go do some stupid shit every day, or go spend his money on flying private jets or buying Lambos and stupid shit like that every day, okay? I mean, everything he does is concentrated into cracking $1 billion. So even when he's making money, he doesn't even take out, you know, a few $1,000 or a few $100,000 to go buy a supercar. None, doesn't give a shit about none of that. None of that matters to him except for cracking $1 billion, you know, in his portfolio, right? So that's why we don't think he's crazy. What we do think he's crazy on is the size that he bets us on, that he likes to bet on when he gets into a trade, okay? So the size that he uses is way too big, okay? So on our team, we will all do the same or similar fundamental analysis. And most of the time, if one person on our team member says that this is a good coin, we pretty much agree with it, because we understand we all look at the same fundamentals on, you know, the criteria that we look for is very similar, right? And the criteria that we use is called the VC man method. And that's what we teach in the cryptocurrency investing blueprint. If you want a more detailed analysis of how we do fundamental analysis on each coin before we make the decision to buy that coin or not, right? Go check out and get a copy of our cryptocurrency investing blueprint. So because we all have an understanding of the VC man method, we analyze each coin and each project and each crypto business the same way before we make a decision to bet on that company or that project or that coin, okay? So the fundamental analysis on our team is very similar, but the size in which we bet on is completely different, okay? So I might bet this much, Leon might bet this much, and then we have a few team members that they say, hey, you know what, this is a good project, and they might bet this much on it, which is way too much. Now, we can't say nothing to them, and we try to tell them not to do that, but in the short term, they've been right, so that's how they're able to get these huge portfolios, okay? But if they're wrong, then they go down to zero. And the way that we teach trading and investing in the crypto markets, we cannot take that kind of risk with our money and with the students that we teach. We cannot purposefully teach someone how to control their bet size in a way that would risk them losing everything in their portfolio. We cannot do that, okay? We would prefer that instead of making, you know, 100x, we'd rather make 20x. Instead of making 20x, we'd rather make 3x. But we know that we're not going to lose everything, okay? We cannot know how much profit we can make in the crypto market, but what we try to do is at least we have a constant that we cannot lose 100% of our capital in the markets. That's our goal that we do, okay? So you can say, yeah, we are a little bit more conservative, okay? But it prevents us from losing everything we have. Whereas, yes, we have some team members and we also have some students. At this moment, I think we have like, I know of at least 4 of our students that has cracked 20 million, okay, 4. Okay, so we have more than that has cracked 10 million, but I know at least 4, okay, that has cracked $20 million, okay? So because of that, right, the ones that have been with us for 2 market cycles and they cracked $20 million, that I'm not too worried about. But the ones that just got into crypto this bull market and they were able to crack $20 million, those are the ones that are not listening to us 100%. And it's really hard for you to differentiate between the two because you're not working with those traders directly like I am, okay? But since I'm working with them and I've worked with them since they started their portfolio and grew it to over $20 million, I have an idea how they're controlling their bet sizes, okay? I don't recommend that. When you guys listen to the guys online and they tell you to bet 100% into one individual coin, that to me is just gambling. That's not intelligent trading. That's not educated investing.